Hey there! Welcome to 1% English Podcast, the daily English show that trains your ears and your brain just 20 minutes a day. Today, our two hosts will reveal 4 hidden pitfalls beneath romantic giving that can slowly destroy love in a relationship.
Hello, and welcome back to the 1% English Podcast. Today, we're going to uncover a truth that many men don't want to admit, and we'll share some honest advice for anyone who is in love or about to fall in love.
Now, let's be clear from the start. We're not here to tell you not to love. Love is one of the most beautiful things in life. But love without awareness, without boundaries, can slowly destroy both your relationship and your self-worth.
Exactly. Today, we'll break down 4 psychological truths that often hide beneath romantic relationships. And for each one, we'll bring in scientific research, examples, and even some counterarguments, so you can see the full picture.
So guys, buckle up. This is not your usual romantic advice. This is a deep dive into human psychology, backed by studies. Let's begin.
The first truth is something psychologists call hedonic adaptation. It means that when someone keeps giving to us over and over again, we naturally get used to it. The effect slowly fades away.
Think about it. When you buy a new phone, you're super excited for the first week. But after a month, it's just your phone. The same thing happens with constant acts of giving in relationships.
There's a famous study by Brickman and Campbell in 1971 that first described this adaptation process, and later, researchers like Sheldon and Lyubomirsky, 2012, found that in relationships, happiness is more strongly linked to variety, different kinds of affection, than to constant repetition of the same gesture.
In other words, if you bring flowers every single day, she may stop noticing. But if you bring flowers occasionally or plan a surprise picnic, the effect is much stronger.
It's not that women or men become ungrateful, it's just how the human brain works. Our ancestors had to adapt quickly to stable conditions, so their brains focused on changes rather than what stayed the same.
A nice way to picture it is like an air conditioner. When it's running constantly, you forget it's there. But if it suddenly stops, you immediately notice. That's how the brain reacts to stable giving. It becomes background noise.
But here's a counterpoint. Not everyone reacts this way to the same degree. Some couples, especially those with high emotional intelligence, can keep appreciating each other's daily efforts. For example, long-married couples often say, "I still say thank you every time my partner makes me coffee."
Right. So the takeaway isn't never give, it's give with intention and give with variety. Don't drown your partner in predictable gestures because love is not about volume, it's about meaning.
Let's move to the second truth. Relationships thrive on a sense of balance. When one person keeps giving without limits, the balance is broken.
Psychologists call this the equity theory, developed by Walster and Verscheid in the late 1970s. It shows that people feel happiest when both partners give and receive in a way that feels fair. If one side is always giving and the other is always receiving, the relationship feels unstable.
Another way to understand this is through cognitive dissonance theory by Festinger. Imagine you're receiving far more than you give. Deep inside, you may start to feel guilty or suspicious. Why is this person doing so much for me? Do I really deserve it? What do they want in return?
And here's the paradox. The more one-sided the sacrifice, the more distance the other person may feel. What starts as generosity can create unease.
For example, in Sprecher's 1998 study on romantic relationships, people who felt they were over-benefited or under-benefited both reported lower satisfaction. Only when both sides felt equity did relationships flourish.
But let's not oversimplify. In some cultures, like traditional Japanese families or older Western households, One partner was the breadwinner, and the other took care of the home. The giving was not equal in type, but it was still balanced in value because society defined it that way.
That's an important point. Balance doesn't always mean 50-50 in the same currency. It means both partners feel that their contributions, whether money, time, or care, are respected and reciprocated.
So, to wrap up our second truth, love without balance is like rowing a boat with only one paddle. You either go in circles or drift off course.
That brings us to the third truth, which is closely connected. If you sacrifice too much, you actually stop your partner from investing in the relationship.
This idea comes from the investment model of commitment, developed by Carol Rusbolt in the 1980s. The theory says that people feel more committed to a relationship when they have invested their own time, energy, and emotions into it.
Think about building IKEA furniture. When you put the effort in, you feel oddly proud of the final result, even if it's just a wobbly bookshelf. Norton, Mochon, and Ariely actually proved this in 2012, and they called it the IKEA effect.
The same thing applies to relationships. If one person does all the work, always planning dates, always solving problems, always giving gifts, the other person never gets the chance to build the relationship themselves.
And as a result, they may not feel as emotionally attached. It's like receiving gifts without ever giving one back. At first, it feels good, but eventually the gifts lose meaning.
Exactly. And this is not about women only. It's about all humans. When we don't invest, we don't value.
There's even research showing that when both partners actively contribute, whether by solving problems together or creating shared traditions, their long-term satisfaction rises. It's the sense of being co-creators, not passive receivers.
But here's a nuance. Sometimes, during hard times, one partner really does need to carry more of the load. For example, when the other is sick or struggling in their career. Short-term imbalance is natural, even necessary.
Right. The problem only appears when imbalance becomes the default mode. If one partner never gets the chance to give, they eventually feel less connected.
So the takeaway from this third truth is, don't rob your partner of the chance to invest. Love grows best when both people water the plant, not when one person pours the entire bucket every day.
Now we arrive at the fourth truth, and this one may be the hardest to accept. When men neglect their own growth, they lose a key part of their attractiveness.
It's simple. If you give all your time, money, and emotions to someone else, but ignore your own goals, your confidence slowly disappears. And without confidence, attraction fades.
In psychology, this connects to self-determination theory by DC and Ryan in 1985. It shows that humans need three things to feel fulfilled: autonomy, competence, and connection. If you abandon autonomy and competence just to keep connection, you weaken the whole system.
Evolutionary psychology also adds perspective. Research by David Buss in 1989 showed that women often value ambition, confidence, and resourcefulness in long-term partners. These aren't about money alone. They're signals of stability and growth.
But we need to be careful here. Attractiveness is not only about career or status. Emotional intelligence, empathy, and kindness also matter deeply. A man who works 24/7 but never listens won't inspire long-term love either.
Exactly. So the message is balance again. Invest in your relationship, but also invest in yourself, your health, your skills, your passions. That's what makes you magnetic.
Let's recap the four truths quickly. First, we adapt to continuous giving, so give with variety, not just repetition.
Second, one-sided sacrifice breaks balance. Relationships need equity, not endless submission.
Third, over-sacrifice blocks your partner's investment. If you do everything, they stop feeling connected.
And fourth, neglecting yourself kills attraction. Growth and self-respect are as important as love itself.
At the end of the day, real love is not about losing yourself. It's about two complete people choosing to grow together.
Before we finish, here are 3 useful words for you to learn today. The first one is hedonic adaptation. It means that people quickly get used to new pleasures or comforts, so the happiness they bring fades over time. In love, this explains why constant sacrifice or gifts don't always keep a partner happy forever. They adapt.
The second one is the IKEA effect. This describes how we value things more when we put effort into creating them ourselves. In relationships, it's the same. When both partners contribute, love feels stronger because they've built it together. And the last one is competence, which means having the ability or skill to do something well. A healthy relationship needs competence not only in daily tasks, but also in communication and emotional support. Otherwise, love can wobble like a boat with only one paddle.
And here's a small challenge for you. This week, instead of giving something big to your partner, try giving something different. Surprise them with a small but meaningful gesture, like writing a note, planning a short walk, or even just asking a deep question you've never asked before.
Then notice their reaction. Did the change spark more joy than your usual habits? If yes, you've just seen hedonic adaptation in action.
Remember, love is a dance between 2 people, not a solo performance. So keep your steps balanced, and the music will play much longer.
Thanks for joining us today on the 1% English podcast. Until next time, keep learning, keep growing, and keep loving wisely.
Congrats! You just crushed your 1% for today. If you're loving this podcast, show that subscribe button some love. And don't forget to hit the bell so you never miss your daily dose of 1%. That's it for today. Take care, keep growing, and we'll see you tomorrow.